War. War never changes. For as long as mankind has been around, the same battles have been fought over and over. I don't remember that ever being a thing, but to be honest, I don't even know if that exists. Don't laugh. This is serious. Is that a bunch of raptors mounted with miniguns fighting? Oh, damn it. TABS, standing for Total Accurate Battle Simulator, is a game with one hell of a physics engine. Units clash swords, get knocked away, and generally react to forces just the way you would expect. Until they don't. The downside of which being that my computer can barely handle battles with over 300 units. Speaking of units, there are a lot of them. Over 100 unique pieces for the board, and an infinite more amount of possibilities with the unit creator. Granted, not all of these units are exactly reinventions of the wheel, per se. I mean, you have the Archer, Ice Archer, Skeleton Archer, Poacher, Snake Archer, Firework Archer, Balloon Archer, and the Watcher, which is really just a few dozen archers mashed into one. But even so, there are plenty of units to pick from, both real ones like the Fencer, Spartan, Archer, and Chariot, as well as plenty of fictional units, such as the Ice Giant, Dark Peasant, and Da Vinci's Tank. Hold on a second, wait. Oh shit, This thing is real? Or at least there are some legitimate ideas for this thing to be used. How would you even load the cannons, much less get in the thing? Back on topic. Where was I? Oh yeah. The game is good. There's something inherently satisfying about two armies clashing into each other while chariots plow through the massive battle, or watching hundreds of archers firing into shieldmen as they slowly gain ground while the bodies pile up. I swear I don't have a problem. You can think up all sorts of battles while using a wide variety of unique maps to create all sorts of set pieces. The only limit is your imagination as well as your computer's processing speed. You can also only ever have two teams, which is a tad disappointing and brings more limits to your battles. The campaign mode is pretty mediocre. Nothing is done that you couldn't do in free play mode, but it is fun overcoming challenges and unlocking maps from beating it. The levels can be pretty challenging, but my main problem with the mode is that the battles aren't consistent. You can have the exact same units in the exact same spots, changing nothing, and run the battle twice, and the results will be different. While it's a fun and honestly immersive feature in free play, it does lead to some annoyances while attempting to beat a particularly hard level and repeating the same battle over and over, just waiting to get lucky. You can also force your consciousness into every and any unit in your army, and while at first I was worried you would be able to break the campaign by controlling a ranged unit and backing up while you shot at the enemy, the developers at LandFalls thought of this and made the speed of backing up slow. Of course, this can just be countered by only turning when you're about to shoot, but it does slow down most units enough to be caught up to eventually, unless you're using the tank, which is broken in the hands of the player. Frankly, pretty much every unit is better in the hands of the player, just from the extra strategy alone, save the Super Peasant, who I don't think I'll ever be able to control optimally. Sadly, the AI for most units is pretty shit. The Bard, for example, is a unit that takes notes from the Knights of the Holy Grail.
Run away! Run away! Run away!
Except when faced off against range units, where it'll kinda get confused and just dance in place as it slowly gets shot down. There are no commands you can give units, no formations you can get them to go into. The only option other than to charge is to have them stop moving entirely. Units will also constantly be getting caught on geometry. The chariots in particular seem to have a magnetic attraction to the walls, finding a way to get stuck on the most open maps without fail. The music, while not something you would exactly listen to in your free time, is all good enough for this type of game, as is the sound design, with the sole flaw being that units make a sort of grunting sound when they fight, which can get really annoying in some of the bigger battles. The game is also riddled with very minor glitches and bugs, as many annoying as there are fun. Keep in mind that the game is still in early access with updates coming frequently, but from units getting knocked through the ground and getting launched back without cause, to units getting their weapons stuck behind their backs, or even walking off the map for no discernible reason, it becomes a death from 1,000 wounds situation. Almost never anything game-breaking, but the common occurrence of them can grow tiring. While I never got too into it, there's a pretty in-depth and easy to use unit creator. I present to you my finest creation, Death's Mount. Now let's see him in action. Shit. The modding community for this game is one of the best I've ever seen. There are multiple games worth of content here. You can find anything from World War troops, anime characters, Undertale units, even the Among Us crewmates. Anyway, not all of these units are very well made, but there are still more than plenty of great units and factions to choose from. Oh look, is this Attack on Titan? Well, let's try it out. Just put down Aaron here and Reiner here. Now a few more things I'd like to touch on before I end the video. The unlock method for units is a slog. All you do is look for certain objects around the map as they glow, and then it gives you the unit, which might be fun for 1 or 2 guys. With over 50 units that are unlocked this way, the process gets very tedious, especially since it doesn't tell you if you found all the units within each map, so you never know if you're wasting your time searching or not. With the complex physics engine, you are also very limited in the size of your battles. Granted, it varies for each computer, but I couldn't run battles with more than 300 units without the frame rate dipping and the music cutting out. It gets even worse with the Watcher, who absolutely tanks frame rates. Oh my god. In a weird design choice, they also made it so you can't tilt your camera around while putting down units. So on maps like this one, you can't line the armies up properly. Now I may have come down pretty hard on some parts of this game, but don't get me wrong, I love this game. I think it's well worth the $17 it's going for on Steam to anyone with an active imagination or creativity. The effort LandFalls has put into this game shines through with the unique units, funny quirks, and overall fan service they've put in these past 4 years. Keep up the good work, LandFalls. I'm looking forwards to the coming updates.